Hi. Hi. First and foremost, I'm going to start this off and just let you know I'm an enlightened being. So everything I say is of the truth, and it would be in your best interest to listen to everything that I say. Not to follow the things that I say, but merely just allow your ears. Allow me access to your ears, if you will. Allow me access to your brain. You see, I already weaseled myself past your defenses, okay? I'm already through your ear holes, okay? I've already penetrated your immunity, your immune system in that way, okay? You have no choice but to hear what it is that I am saying. But allow me to pass through your blood-brain barrier, if you would, please. Because what I do have to say comes from a place of I want to accurately represent the feelings that are inside of me, and hopefully they can come out as something entertaining for you or useful to you if you were ever to leave freaking listening to me and produce your own goddamn culture right now, dude. Are you a producer or are you a consumer? All right, so this message right here is going to the people who should be doing some shit, that have the ability to do some shit, have the capacity to do some shit, have the sort of skill set, the attributes and various aspects about them, but they're just asleep right now. Or, they're groggy right now. Or maybe I'm sorry. What I recognize is, dude, sometimes you just really just want to chill the fuck out, okay? Sometimes you want to chill the fuck out and just veg out and consume, just see what's happening on the interwebs and, see what the community's about, see what she, Kanye, see what she's feeling, She said, all the club, all this fast stuff, she said she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, some Little Anita, set this party all right. And I get that too, okay? So if I just happen to be just the last voice you heard that says, "Come on, Rocky! Come on, Gary! Go, Gary, go! Go, Gary, come on! Come on, go!" And you're like, disregard everything that I say, okay? Allow yourself that. You just gotta stay sharp regardless, okay? You gotta be able to fight for your own sort of know-how, right? You gotta be able to tell when it is that you need to take a break because you have to take a break. And you gotta know when you can keep going, when you can maximize the kind of energy that you got. And you can't let consensus reality bully you into conforming to their idea of what you should and shouldn't do. Like how they'll say, "Oh my God, it's kind of late out, don't you think? It's dark. It's like 11, 12 p.m. Well, yeah, maybe for someone that lives their life dictated on what the fuck numbers say when they whip out a black rectangle, a lit electronical piece of glass, or maybe even, an analog watch, and they're like, "Oh, well, it looks like it is this signal. I should be going now." Because they still kind of live their lives through this sort of more of a Tetris shaped structure where times take this amount of time and there's events and 24-hour reset periods. Yeah, you know what? I'm on a different cycle right now. I'm on a life cycle, actually. And so my life cycle doesn't actually match up in the accordance with the Mercury being a retrograde and the summer solstice and day and night cycles, okay? When I have energy, I have energy, all right? When I'm in my solar phase and I'm out here, Dark Souls 3, Praise the Sun mode, hey, that's where I'm at. If I'm ever a moon man, I'm out here, cookies, croissants, and cats, purple, blaze rods and witches, that's another aspect of my life, okay? And so depending on where I'm sort of picking up my energy from, that's what it is. But rarely does it have to do with, what the numbers say on some clock. Because that's not how I choose to live my life anymore. Rigid structures such as that. Okay, any other things that I'd like to... Wow, dude, it came off really hostile. I heard that recently. It came off really hostile. What's up with that? Why'd you do that? Well, I just had to. I had to because I just did. The reality of life is that, like, who we are and what we are is a blend of potential energy and kinetic energy. And that's to say, it has the anatomy of an iceberg, right? The iceberg in its totality is all of this and all of these ways and all the sorts of ways that you can express yourself, all the ways that you can come out in tone. Hey, am I the leader of a yoga class here? Or am I a drill sergeant? Goddamn, am I Toph from, Avatar: The Last Airbender? This is how I like to live my life. Sometimes, definitely, for sure. It makes sense. Anywho, really what, the most fundamental truth of the reality is that we are both the sky and the weather. The sky is the thing that allows the weather to be what the weather is. We are also the beautiful, cloudless days filled with blue skies and sunshine. We are also the overcast gray skies, which are all too beautiful, nice, temperate, a little humid, beautiful out, lovely. Thunderstorms. We are the weather. We are the weather. But the thing is, we're both of these things. I think that the place where you can get caught up a lot in is when you come to understand that you are both the weather in the sky in the moment, and you are also the sky that gives way to all types of weather. You will, there's a lot of uncertainty and anxiety that gets bred because of that. Because you start thinking to yourself, well, if I am the sky, then why the fuck am I this weather right now? I want to be sunny skies, dude. Or, sometimes you'll be like, God damn it, I just want to be overcast gray right now. Christ, why the hell is that sunshine coming and making it all humid? Ugh. We start thinking that, because we have the ability to be the sky, that whatever weather we are, we just don't like it. And, we can be fucked up in that kind of way. And I'm no different. Bro. I wish I could change the weather. I constantly think I could change, I constantly feel as though I can change the weather. And what I come to realize time and time again is, no, sorry. Yeah, time does that. The laws of thermodynamics do that. That's to say that if something is hot, that's to say that if you had a hot pot of coffee, a hot cup of coffee, and you just set it down, that eventually it's going to get colder. That the environment is going to suck the warmth out of it. If you have something cold in your cup, eventually it's gonna warm itself, and the temperature of the cup and the temperature of the thing, they come closer together until they're one common temperature. And so a lot of times I blast out of here. Sometimes I blast out of here, and sometimes Sometimes I ooze out of here. You know? But what I really wanted to talk about was Wu Wei, I suppose. Because my biggest hang-up in life, every day I get just a little bit closer, probably, infinitesimally small. Because in the broad scheme of things, I've definitely felt different changes in my life, and I've also noticed different effects that life has had on me and that I've had on life. And then all the sorts of other, infinite variations of life in between. The main thing that I want to point a cautionary tail finger towards, is that there exists out there a specific type of individual on a very specific type of path that I want to give information to. And I really do wonder how they would take this information in. And so without further ado, I suppose I'll just say it. And if I'm retarded, just give me some feedback. You can let me know. I'd like to know. I would like to know. That'd be nice. That'd be my take is that it's only a feeling. It's only a feeling. And if I have the bravery to face feelings, and just sort of recognize feelings as these fleeting, ever-changing, constant-changing things, that maybe I don't need to be afraid of what anxiety feels like. Maybe I don't need to have the kind of like pulling away of what fear feels like, or what pain feels like, emotional pain feels like. Maybe the kind of pain that comes with changing your mind, or the pain that comes from, being embarrassed, or, thinking you're right when you're wrong, or I don't know, like a lot of these things. And so, this is to anybody that thinks they have it figured out. This is to anybody who thinks that, that they found enlightenment one time, and then they said, somewhere along the lines, like, they attributed enlightenment to, was like, live, laugh, love, wake up and be grateful, wake up and be happy. God wants you to live life and be happy, live life and to your best potential, always, and my whole thing about life is that it's funny, and the way that it teaches you is that I think that the main lesson that I've learned from life is that basically come to expect nothing, okay? Expect absolutely nothing. What does that mean, expect absolutely nothing? Well, when I talk about expect nothing, I'm talking about your emotions and how you respond and how you make decisions in real time, especially decisions pertaining to how you want to feel in the moment or about an activity. The goings-on of life, if you will. Expect nothing, okay? My whole thing is eat it like it is, okay? Imagine for a moment that the place that you're at right now, emotional headspace, whatever it is that you're sort of dealing with or not dealing with, or is just like, it's on your desk but you haven't looked at it yet. Whatever's like sort of up and coming for your life or ongoing in your life and what have you, right? Don't try and do any sort of conjuring of this thing. Don't try and do any manipulation of this thing quite yet. Do an inspection of this thing. Oftentimes you'll want to do a kind of alchemy of life. You'll want to take whatever sort of material it is that you're working with in your life, an event you feel like particularly unhappy with, a sort of activity or stressful situation that you don't really like how you're reacting to it. You're more or less like the quaking mess in this event of things. And what you'll do is there's a part of you, it's like an anxious part of you, it's a controlling part of you, it's a manipulative part of you, it's the part of you that wants to take reality and turn it into something else, and it just has to be something else, right? I've been to I know heaven is a state of mind I've been a couple times. I know heaven is a state of mind I've been a couple times. And so we've been to heaven a couple times. We've sort of taken, we were kind of like scouts in a way, right? We went to heaven a couple times. We're like, oh my God, it's a state of mind. And we sort of jotted down like, hey guys, this is what heaven was like. Hey guys, this is how to get to heaven. Here's the breadcrumbs back to heaven. You wrote it down, like summary, bullet points and all this. And now this is kind of like this is your sort of spatial map. X marks the spot, how to get back to heaven. And we all do this. We always do this. And this is the sort of fall of man. This is the kind of this is inevitability right here. I mean, you feel something that's good. You want to try and feel it again. You start noticing. You just try and gamify it, right? It's like something you wanna like. It's like agriculture. It's like agriculture. It's like. No longer are we living amongst nomadic times where you would, shit would just grow out of nature, and then we'd pick it and we'd enjoy it for that moment, and we'd just continue on, and then we'd just find some other shit that was growing and just, continue on in that way. No, agriculture was different. We're like, fuck all that walking shit, dude. I just want to not do that. So how about we just plant the seeds and like just stay here? Just plant a whole bunch of seeds. We could just stay here and fuck it. We'll just stay here and eat, and then. Fuck that walking shit. Fuck all the moving. Ugh, who wants to move? Right? And so we try and do this kind of like growing and we try and do the agriculture thing to states of mind, heaven on earth kind of mentality, bring about a positive change in the world. What life has taught me is expect a little less predictability. Okay? In, somewhere on that bullet point of like what heaven's like and how to get there, oftentimes people write like everything is perfect and everybody was happy and all things were good and we were smiling. And they'll sort of like take a screenshot of a certain moment of that video of heaven that they had, and they'll sort of be like, this is my roadmap, this is my sign, this is my marker. Have you seen this place before? They'll go around asking people, have you seen this place before? Do you know how to get here? People are like, yeah, sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. Fuck. Damn it. Again and again. What life continues to teach me is that life is this sort of all-knowing entity, and it is constantly coming at me like a kung fu teacher trying to teach me shit. Like, I know that life loves me, and I know that life as a teacher wants me to be the best that I can. And to be the best that I can, life doesn't want to coddle and baby me and only be gentle and sweet and tender with me. Although it is, and it definitely can be, especially when I might need such that. Oftentimes, it wants me to be ready for anything from anywhere. Like, it wants me to sort of like kind of think that it doesn't ever want me to think, there's never going to be an attack from the diagonal direction from behind me in the sky. There's never going to be a magpie that's coming down, swooping around to like poke my eye out. Like, it never wants me to be too sure about anything. It doesn't want me to have that kind of mental state of mind. It doesn't want me to reside in that sort of mental state, like that there are things that I don't have to worry about because the attack could never come from behind the wall. Never. This wall protects me. There's no way the attack can come from behind the wall, so I'll put my back to the wall, so that way only the attack, so I could just focus on this area, and this is where all of the threats will come. No, life is like, oh, you thought so, bitch? Guess what? Tank. Cannonballs. And Kool-Aid Man, Just like all this random shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, life will do that to you. Just to be a funny motherfucker. And so what that sort of looks like in my life in more real terms, because my life isn't a constant sort of attacking, defensive fucking war, Halo Wars strategic game in this kind of way. Not even mentally. A lot of it is like, it's more subtle. It's really more subtle, and it's really more about the sort of feminine progression of emotions that, I'll go through throughout the day, especially in my relationships with myself, my perception of self, my relationships with other people, the dynamics between us in our relationships of who we think we are and who others are, and, how, who we play in each other's lives and what our roles are in our own lives and our sort of goals and endeavors that are both separate and together, And all of these aspects of what it is to be a human in the time that we're living. So, the sort of softer, more feminine nature to the transitional phases between emotions. I mean, yes, we want to be in heaven. We want to be happy. We want to be maybe even jovial or positive or a sort of light in the world. My suggestion to you is that we have to take ourselves out of it, right? We have to detach ourselves from the desire to be the light. We have to dissolve our liking, our wish to want to be the light, and just shut the fuck up and be the light. Right? Be the source that allows others to see, and don't get caught up in the joys of what it is to be the light. Yes, praise the light. Praise the light, baby. Like, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of times people want to be praised for being the light as opposed to what the light will allow you to do. Like, the light will allow you to write down stuff in your notebook when it's dark out, to draw pictures when there's no sun out. This is what the light is for. The light isn't there to be gawked at. The light isn't there to be the subject of praise. It's supposed to be ubiquitous. It's supposed to be like the sidewalk. It's supposed to be like the road. It's supposed to be like grocery stores. It's supposed to be these kinds of, it's supposed to be these structures that serve a greater purpose, but they get forgotten. Okay, they're transient. They're there, and sure, be grateful and give kudos. Give thanks for thanks is due. Give the roses while people can still smell them. But then again, my take is a sort of swing and swing and swing. Okay, a lot of these things, you should be grateful for the shoes that you're wearing, and you should love the shoes that you're wearing. But at the end of the day, the reason you wear your shoes should be so you can step on rusty nails, and so you can traverse treacherous ground. You never want your shoes to be something that holds you back. Oh, I can't muddy these shoes. You want to be able to muddy your shoes. You want to wear your shoes, and you don't want your shoes to wear you. You don't want to have these things on and then have them sort of, restrict you and limit who you are and who you can be. You want them to amplify. You want them to enhance everything that you can be. And you want them to be like adamantium bones, enhance your structure. Be beneficial to you somehow. Allow you to do more. Put all your shit through the ringer. Care less about your things, but, not in a way where you treat it bad just to treat it bad, but it's like strength, you know? Man. It's just like life, bro. Life loves me, and it's gentle and it's tender with me when it senses that I need that. But life wants the best for me. Life ultimately wants me to be able to be strong and to be able to do things on my own. And it's there to hold my hand, and it loves me and all this. But I also know that, like, when push comes to shove or whatever, life is like, hey, you know, I'm here for you if you need. But I just want to stand back and I want to watch you be great. So I'll wake up in the morning, and I will know in my heart of hearts that everything that I picked up from the day before and beyond is old knowledge. Even if it was helpful day in and day out, if it's stale, I can't eat it. You know, I have to find something fresh, even if it tastes bad. You know, I'm about the diversification. You know, I want my gut biome to be crazy. I want my immunity to be ridiculous, S+ tier immunity. So that means going out and trying different things all the time and building this sort of immunity, building crazy freaking gut biome, and, you know, not getting too used to any one particular flavor of life, falling too much into any particular kind of rut, but really letting things be complex, letting things be intricate, letting the braid be a fishtail, constantly adding in new strands as opposed to some like a French braid. Right? So I'll wake up in the morning and I have to open my mouth and I have to figure out what it is that I'm feeling and what it is that I'm thinking. And, you know, that's what it is moment to moment. You know, this isn't, you're never, it's like the movie It Follows, right? This thing is always following. It's always following. You know, I can put all the distance in the world between us two, but I'm of the nature that if I stop, it's not that I stop thinking about it, right? I can't stop and stop thinking about it. I know that this thing is always on the move, and it never stops, and it's waiting for nobody, and it doesn't have to sleep, and it's always going. You see, I have to bide my time. I have to ration my energy. I have to pick and choose. You know, I'm the one that has the limitations in this way. And so this thing is endless. I can talk for hours, but I want to cut this off short. There are things that I would prefer to do instead in this moment, so I'm going to go act upon those things. I implore you to do so as well. I hope this was nutritionally dense for you. I hope this was a pleasurable and amazing experience for you. I hope you enjoyed it for what it was. I hope it was like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy back in like middle school and early high school was like, it was both entertaining and educational. And so I really like shit like that. And so if this was that for you, that's such a win for both of us. I implore you to go and pursue your fucking dream right now. Pursue your dream. And so take that with any amount of seriousness. I want you to take that with whatever level of seriousness you will. Go pursue your dream, you know? Go pursue what God is calling you to do in this moment of time. So if he's asking you to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Don't hold it in. That's not good for you. And then, hey, thank you so much for everything. God bless you. Bless your heart for listening to this. May we move into the future and have beautiful times. And all the rest. Thank you so much. Goodbye.